Well, like the OJ
Is
case.
it this?
Let's talk about the
Yeah,
OJ.
okay.
That's
Let's talk.
that's
I was
Yeah.
quite young with the OJ
Okay,
case,
you are,
but
yeah.
of course I remember the OJ case.
Yeah. Well, the the overall sentiment was that OJ was guilty, right? But in actuality, the jury understood that throughout history, a black man didn't get a fair shake, at a trial.
Mhm.
So that's why they gave OJ the benefit of the doubt. When that police officer, I forgot his name, I think it was Furman, his name was,
right, right.
climbed the fence and he got the glove and he was the one that was initiating all these things and he was at the centerpiece of the criminal
Yeah,
case.
manipulating the crime scene.
Exactly.
Practically. Yeah.
The jury said, you know what, this guy Furman, he did so much, and then he used the N word. They came out and
Wow,
the
I
jury,
forgot. Yeah.
so the jury
Mhm.
saw that although OJ may be guilty, he may be, but there's too many other circumstances that point to his innocence,
Uh-huh.
especially this officer Furman, who
In order, like you said, a lot of the facts was manipulated in terms
yeah
of
yeah
the evidence. A lot of the
Okay.
stuff that if it wasn't touched, maybe it would the verdict would have came out differently.
Okay,
But
I
being
get
that,
it.
like you said, he climbed over the fence, he made a lot of statements, he touched practically just sabotaged the crime scene.
right.
Then yeah.
In law we call it taint. He tainted his crime scene. But on top of it was that he lied on the stand. The lawyers had a great strategy. They cross-examined him, asked him a million times if he ever used the N-word. He denied it to the T. Lo and behold, they have really community-minded witnesses came forward and said they did hear him use the N-word in the past. They even had him on videotape using the N-word. He lied to the jury, and as a result, that his lying to the jury tainted the whole case.
Okay.
So the point I'm
I
making
get
is that the guy was guilty.
Mhm.
A lot of people thought he was guilty,
Right.
but the facts came out that there could have been some doubt to
It
it.
could be doubt because of
Mhm.
what someone else did.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, but karma comes around anyway.
Yeah.
And he's
Mhm.
where he's,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
well,
Who knows what
karma,
happened? Yeah.
karma is a
Well,
B, they
I think OJ
I
was.
don't think I can say that word.
Yeah,
so.
I think OJ was set up with the whole robbery thing. I think the whole
Yeah.
robbery. I think
Yeah, that really didn't
that-
make too much sense.
No, it
That
didn't make too
really
much
didn't
sense.
make too
But they
much
got
sense
him.
at all.
They
They
got
got
him.
him.
They got
They
him
got
along.
him.
Yeah.
You know what it's meant to be will be.
That's
You know
true.
what it shall be shall be. Okay, so you have some questions for him.
Yeah,
because I told you I could go.
yeah,
totally
pretty much in
something
terms of the laws aspect. When you go in and talk to these children
Mm.
or the students in these
Right.
high schools, and they are very, very unaware of what the law actually
Yes,
is.
yes.
I mean,
Right.
any little thing can be a crime these
That's a
days.
great point. Sandra's a great point. I think you and I discussed this once before.
Right.
I realized that when I was growing up, I grew up in housing projects, so we used to sit in the lobby, housing projects, and hang out and sing songs and right in the lobby.
It's like your after school center,
Exactly.
pretty much.
Nowadays, a young man who's in a lobby where he doesn't live, he'll get arrested, and for trespass. Now,
What?
yeah, that's right. He'll get arrested for
You
trespass.
mean to tell me
That's
they
it.
will send our children?
But and also understand that it could escalate to something even worse,
Yeah,
right?
the-
Okay.
the point I'm making is that trespass conviction is a black mark on that person's record. Because what happens is that person cannot, or it's quite difficult to apply to colleges, apply to civil service jobs. My brother, when he was 14 years
See.
old, he
Mhm.
jumped a turnstile as a young kid. Did a naughty thing. He got a trespass conviction, and to become a police officer, he had to take about 3 years to fight that conviction to be allowed to become a police officer.
Okay, so you have trespass.
Yeah.
Okay, what else is so simple that our children are going to jail for?
Well, our kids are going to jail for many, many things. And in school, going to a school with so-called contraband. If you go into school, let's say if you have, let's
Tell
say,
them what contraband is.
well, let's say right now, sometimes cell phones are contraband. Some schools have a
law,
law
yeah.
can't bring
Against-
cell
Okay.
phones in school.
Uh-huh.
But if you bring cell phone in class, I mean that could be considered contraband. Now that's a simple case. Let's say you have in your pocket you have a razor, or you have, let's say you work in a supermarket and you have one of those box cutters and you have in your pocket, and you go into a school that could be considered contraband.
Yeah, it's
How about-
considered a weapon. It's
Yeah,
considered.
yeah. So that but
Mhm.
a lot of our kids get caught up in the system because if you see in public schools now, you have all the security guards. It's almost like a police force in public schools.
Right. Well, tell me about this. How about girls fighting in front of schools? Because you know what, I volunteer my services on Friday into the correction facility.
Yeah.
they're going to jail over fighting in front of the schools. Now, when I grew up, you fought in front of the schools. They took you in. You got a beating or paddling by the principal. Then they call your parents and send them home. You being in the criminal system.
Yes.
Okay. Why is this happening to our girls and boys that they're going to jail and getting records over having to fight with some other little girl?
Well, that's a good question too. I mean,
What? We have to get back to that.
okay.
Really?
Go back to
We're gonna have to come back to that question and answer.
Oh,
We're gonna
really?
have basically have to call Mr. Caban
back.
back.
Will be back next week because we have a lot to talk
Yeah, we
about
have
with the
so
law.
much to talk about, but I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
him coming in, giving us this information in terms of the law, even though we were supposed to discuss business, but we have a part 2 with Mr. Caban.
It'll be my pleasure to come back anytime. Thank you.
All right. Once again, before we leave, give your phone number.
That's 212-859-3511. 212-859-3511, and the website is ccabanlaw@aol.com. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, and this is Shani
and Sandra.
Business to business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank
pleasure.
you.